I have a very exciting video for you today because I got my hands on the full Lunar Beauty Moonshroom collection. I have the eyeshadow palette, the highlighter palette, and the 3 lip glosses. I'm going to be trying them all out, showing you swatches, close-ups, and I'm going to share with you what I think about these after using them once. So let's get into it. Alright, let's start out with the palette, the star of the show, the thing that I'm the most excited about, I think. But we're going to be seeing about that because the other things in this collection also look so good. But this palette has the mushroom theme, but also kind of like fairies, fairy tale. It's very kind of like a fairy trip. Like there's something kind of psychedelic about it, but also kind of fantasy. It's kind of a mix of that. Very interesting. I really think the outer packaging is very cool. A little different from Lunar Beauty. It's a little bit more like cartoon-esque almost. And the last few palettes were very like aesthetic, ethereal. This is a little bit more out there. Also in the color story, even though it's still a pretty neutral-ish palette, we do have some colors here. We have some teals, we have some purples, we have a periwinkle, we have some murky greens, yellows. So I do feel like for Lunar Beauty, this is branching out. I do at this point feel like I'd be excited to see kind of like maybe another format from the brand, maybe something just a little different, but at the same time I have to be honest, I really like it. I really like the palettes as they have been coming out the past, I don't know, 2 years or so. Since the Nude Prism palette, I've just been really enjoying it. I know seeing kind of like the same thing, but I like this setup and I really like the formulas. This color story I think is really cute. It is a little bit on the murky side for me, so I'm gonna be like trying to do looks with this that are not too murky, even though it's kind of like meant to be that. But I still see a lot of freshes in here. I still see also cool tones in here. Like it's, I think, a well-balanced palette. It's not just murkiness. You can also go like more cool toned or more neutral. We've been seeing a lot of comments from people all over the internet that compare this to the Raw Beauty Kristi at First Sight palette that she did with Colourpop. I decluttered this, but I still had it like laying around because I kind of want to keep this packaging. But this palette, I can kind of understand. I can kind of understand the comparison, but I don't think that Lunar Beauty or Manny has copied Raw Beauty Kristi. I don't think so, because his palette is a lot bigger. It's a lot more of a like well-rounded color story. There are a lot of options there, there are a lot of extra shades, and there are also a lot more shimmers. But I do get it. There's like a mushroom theme, and then we have murky shades. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, no one person holds the rights to making a mushroom themed eyeshadow palette. I mean, mushrooms are just very cute. I like them, they look cute, they make me think of fairy tales, which is very on brand for Lunar Beauty. This is not something that only Raw Beauty Kristi could have thought of. Like, it's a very like well thought through palette, but just it all makes sense together. Like murky tones with mushrooms, it makes sense. So I don't feel like it's a copy. I do understand the comparison. There are a few shades that look kind of similar. I mean, Puffball, Chanterelle, Homegrown, Amanita, and Emerald City, or PNW, either of these. Like, some of the mattes are in the Lunar Beauty palette, maybe not exact, but almost the same. But I feel like in the Lunar Beauty there's so much else, so many other things going on that I personally don't mind it, but I just wanted to mention it. I don't really feel like that, but I do get that we're not seeing that many mushroom palettes, and then your mind like automatically goes to Raw Beauty Kristi. Right, let's move on to the next thing in the collection. This is a Moonshroom highlighter palette, and in this palette we have 4 highlighters. We have a very light, kind of like almost yellowy champagne. Then we have a deeper champagne. We have kind of like a darker pink blush topper-esque thing that is called Blossom. And then we have a deeper bronzy shade that is called Sprinkle. I think this is a cute looking palette and the swatches look amazing. I do have to say that I personally usually don't prefer having this all-in-one type of palette. It was really popular in like 2016, but for me, it just feels a little dated. I get why many did it. I mean, it's much more affordable. Like, it's much more expensive to make singles is what I've heard. I don't have any personal experience, but I can surely believe it. It is much more doable for his brand to do a 4-pan like this, but then if he's gonna do a 4-pan palette, then he has to make it for all skin tones. And yes, it's gonna be for all skin tones, but there are gonna be some shades that maybe you can't use. But I'm gonna be trying all of the shades. I'm gonna be trying the bronzy shade on the eye. Maybe I will change my mind. I do have to say, I used, like, even in 2016, I was not buying these for all skin tone palettes, I believe. Like, I don't remember really owning these. I never owned the Anastasia ones. So it feels like we're kind of back at that. But because it's Lunar Beauty, I am still gonna try it because I love the brand so much. And I do really want to try the highlighter formula from Lunar Beauty. I've never tried it. Like, I was not around for this brand when they did the first round of single, like, white-ish iridescent packaging highlighters. So I'm excited still, but just looking at my own preferences, I don't think this is perfect for me. Then we have 3 glosses in this collection. I love the Lunar Beauty gloss formula, so I was very excited to see that there were more glosses coming out. First up, we have the shade Ella, which is a iridescent, kind of like multicolored shimmered see-through gloss. Then we have shade Soul, which is a bronzer gloss with a golden glow. It is very like summertime appropriate. I think that's gonna be a really cool shade to kind of like top over a nudish lip. And then we have, I think, what's gonna be my favorite, and this is the shade Flora, and this is a kind of light milky pink. It has some shimmer in it. All of these have shimmer in them, but this looks so amazing. I love light pink lips, so definitely gonna try all of these out, and I'm so excited. Alright, I'm already wearing eye primer. We're gonna do an eye look, and I'm kind of like naturally drawn to the purples. I really want to do a purple look, but it's so like predictable for me. I always go for the purples. For some reason, this shade Meadow, like with the little mushroom in there, with the imprint, also really attracts me. It's kind of like murky, but still fresh, and it just looks very cool. Maybe I'm gonna do something completely different. A look I've never done before. I'm gonna do the kind of like murky greens in the crease, and then I'm gonna put Pixie Pop, I think, on the lid, and then we're gonna do Magic Mushroom as a shimmer. I think it's gonna be something like that. So I'm gonna take that shade Meadow, the kind of like murky, lighter green, like murky but maybe kind of yellowy. That's very yellowy. That's very interesting. It looks a bit more yellow in real life on my eye. I don't know if it picks up on camera the way it's looking here, but that's a really cool shade actually. Ooh. I do love yellow eyeshadow, but my favorite yellow eyeshadow is usually more of a kind of like lemon yellow, kind of like a cool tone yellow. And these are a little bit more on the warm side. So that is the first shade. I do think it is a very cool shade. Very interesting. I think for the outer corner, I am gonna do a little bit of a mix of Toad and Weeping Willow, because I don't want it to be too dark. So first gonna go in with Toad, and then in the end I'm gonna apply the darker green one a little bit more concentrated. Like, Toad isn't making the biggest difference in depth. Like, the depth levels are not very like different. Very, very interesting. Now we're gonna go in with Weeping Willow. I'm gonna take another brush. I want precision. I really thought I was gonna do a purple look with this, but I'll probably do a lot of purple looks with this in the end. So let's just try something different. Let's see what this palette can do, what maybe other palettes in my collection cannot do. I know I said I'm not really like a murky lover, but there's something about these shades where, yes, it is murky, but I do like it. I do like it. Like, it's still a bit fresh, like freshly murky. like spring murky. I want to take a clean brush and kind of blend the edges. Kind of loving it. I'm kind of here for it. Okay, we're gonna do the Pixie Pop, so that bright lavender shade. We're gonna do that on the lid. And I hope this is gonna look good. It's a bit of a experiment, but I feel like applying the lavender is also gonna make this a bit more wearable for me and my skin tone and undertone, so let's just try it. I'm gonna take that brush with the dark green and kind of like tap over here. It's not really the shades that are gonna blend the best together, so I just want a little bit of something to help those blend. This is 100% a look that I've never done. And I do love it when palettes kind of challenge me to do something that I wouldn't have thought of. Like, that's kind of the point of palettes for me. Like, we've seen all the shades, I probably have all the shades in my collection, but then if they are put together in a palette in a different way, then you can be inspired. I think that's really cute. We're gonna take the shade Magic Mushroom. We're gonna definitely test one of these shimmers, and I'm gonna put that in my inner corner. Gonna take that with a pencil brush. Ooh. This seems to be kind of like a topper shade that is also kind of like bluish green, like iridescent shimmer. And I'm just gonna put that all over the blue, like, or the lavender. I am applying it a little bit more softly with the brush. Like, if you would apply this with a finger, it would be more like full impact. But I'm choosing to let that lilac lavender shade shine through a little more, so I'm applying a little bit more like softly, like a wash of shimmer. Now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take that shade Pixie Pop and I'm gonna apply that kind of like in the middle here. I want to make that shade come back. And then I'm gonna take a combination of, let's see, Toad and Weeping Willow again. I'm just keeping it a little simple. I'm gonna take that combination and I'm gonna put that on the outer part of the lower lash line. I don't want it to be too deep, but I want it to be similar to what I did on the top. Applying a little bit more of Pixie Pop because I really want it to pop on the lower lash line. And now I want to do a little bit of a shadow liner. I'm gonna go with the shade... what should I do? Which of these? I think I'm gonna go with Death Cap. Just gonna add a little bit of definition. This is what I always do for my liner. I just enjoy it way more. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that and just very precisely apply it on the lower lash line. I'm gonna take that brush that I use for the greens on the lower lash line and blend a little. Alright, I think this is gonna be the eye look. I'm gonna apply a little bit of mascara and then I'll be right back for the rest of the products. Alright, let's start with the highlighters, and I'm gonna start by applying this shade Sugar. I'm gonna apply that on the highest points of my cheekbones, and then I'm gonna apply a little bit of the shade Blossom. I'm gonna use it as a blush topper, but I first just want to see it as like, what does it do as a highlighter? So I'm just gonna dip in carefully. I feel like it's gonna be really pigmented. So this is shade Sugar. Blend it out. I feel like that is more like natural than I was thinking. Like that it wasn't anything too crazy. Let's apply a little more. Okay, it's definitely buildable. Like you can go a little further with this. Okay, that is pretty. It's very smooth. There's no like shimmer in this. And I also don't feel like it really emphasizes any texture. So this is with the highlighter and without. I think this looks really nice. Let's do the same on the other side. I feel like the lighting on this side is a little different. Sometimes it's a bit easier to see a highlighter. That's pretty. Yeah, more subtle. Kind of like not too subtle, but a little bit more subtle than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be very, very pigmented from the swatch. But this is like very wearable, like very day-to-day friendly. Okay, we're gonna go into the shade Blossom, and I'm gonna take a little bit of a fluffy brush because I want to use it as a blush topper. So kind of like softly applying this over top of everything that I already had going on. I was already wearing a powder blush and a powder bronzer. Yeah, that etches a really nice soft glow, and it's a little bit of a deeper shade of pink. Like you can see there's a little bit more glow and pigment here than there is over here. And I just dipped in twice with this small brush. I do love a glowy blush, so I really don't mind that that is more of a blush shade. The only shade that I don't think I can get away with is the bronzy one. So I can use 3 out of 4. It's not too bad. Okay, I quite like what my cheeks are looking like. I feel like it's a very glowy, kind of glow from within, natural looking type of formula. So these are the cheeks. You can definitely see a very nice glow. I am kind of like, I'm here for it. I'm liking it. All right. Let's move on to the lip glosses. First, we're gonna try the shade Ella on the lips. I'm just gonna apply it just like this, no lip liner. I just want to show you how this looks without anything else. So let's see. The Lunar Beauty lip glosses, they smell heavenly. They smell so good. It is a nice gloss, but it's subtle. Like it's glowy, there's some shimmer in there, but it's like subtle at the same time. When you look up close in the mirror, you can definitely see the different colored shimmers that are in here. Very comfortable gloss, very nice. This is the one where I feel like maybe I personally didn't need it, because like it doesn't add much like difference in a color, and I do have kind of like sheer shimmery glosses from Lunar Beauty, but for what it is, I like it. All right, let's move on to the shade Soul. So this is the bronzy one. I'm expecting this to look quite a lot more pigmented on the lips. Yeah, this is definitely a lot more pigmented. This is a gloss where I'm like, just put in a little bit of lip liner, put the gloss on top, and you're ready to go. You have a whole lip look. I think this is a gloss that a lot of people are gonna like, because it really gives you that bronzy, sunny vibe, like the name suggests. And yeah, I can definitely see a little bit of that golden glow, but it's not like super chunky. I don't see like glitter. Like there's shimmer, but I don't feel like there's glitter particles or that it's like super visible. Like it's subtle. Like there's a shimmer in here, but it's subtle. And then the one that I think is gonna be my favorite, this is the shade Flora, the kind of like light milky pink. I feel like this one is probably the most unique from this collection. I think this is a really cute gloss, and I can see myself applying this on top of a lot of different lip looks. Like it's sheer, but it does add a little bit of that light, fresh pinkiness. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of a lip liner, try to add it on top. It's gonna be a challenge, but I'm gonna try it to kind of like finish the look, and then that's gonna be the look. Alright, so this is gonna be the finished look, and I'm actually really excited about it. I feel like it kind of like took me out of my comfort zone in the best way. And I actually thought it was so easy to do. It was such a like easy, quick, didn't have to think about it much kind of look. So yeah, let's discuss. So the palette, I think is actually really cute. Of course, I only use a few colors now, but everything just works so well. And I feel like a lot of these colors just work together so well to make more than just monochrome looks. Like the undertones here just, I feel like are gonna work together so well, and we really have kind of like these corresponding like lighter shades, like crease shades, and then deepening up shades or liner shades. I see so many options here. I see so many like fun looks you can do. I'm really excited about this palette, and I feel like for me personally it's something a little different, and I also like how it's still kind of like fresh, and it keeps this balance between warm and cool, and it's not just a like very swampy, murky palette. If that would be the case, it wouldn't really be up my alley, but I feel like this is also gonna like cater to my taste. So I'm very excited. And then we have the highlighter palette. I think I'm gonna like this a lot. I think this is gonna be probably like a favorite because it is very compact. It's very cute. I can use 3 of the shades. And I just really like how my cheeks are looking. Like it's just so kind of like effortless and just glowy and just natural without being too natural, without being like, where's the highlighter? It definitely did something for me, but they just have kind of like this sheerer base, which makes it just look like it's blending into your skin beautifully. So I really like this. Especially for what it is. Would I have preferred single highlighters? Maybe, but he made this thing the cutest he could. And then we have the 3 glosses. I think all 3 of these are really cute. I already knew that I really like the gloss formula by Lunar Beauty, so it's not really a surprise. I just wanted to show you all the shades, and I also just know that I'm really gonna like all of these shades. I can see myself wearing the light pink one so much, especially because I really don't have anything like this. It's just so nice and milky and just like light and fresh, and I feel like it looks kind of sexy, if I may say so. So yeah, I'm generally really excited about this collection, really happy with my look, and that's gonna be everything for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.